Hello and welcome to Alternate Image Raid. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today we're going to go over the Sacred Order Crypt in the Faction Wars, and I'm going to show you the team that I used to run this event. So we'll see here that I have Deacon in lead, I have Godseeker Aniri, I have Cardinal, I have Fenax, and I have Bivald the Thorn, I believe, in this team right now. The original version I ran with this would either rotate in Athel or sometimes in this Armiger, and those both work pretty well, but the team is much slower. Since Bivald was a recent fusion event, I'm going to include him in just so you can kind of see how the run goes with him. Now, this team isn't exactly budget, while all of this came to me for free. Obviously, we'll see we have two Void Champions. Godseeker is incredibly good at keeping this team going and was pretty key for getting my 3-star down. So I'll show you this. I'll show you the run. At the end of the run, we will go over their stats and their masteries and so forth of each of these champions, and I will discuss a little bit the alternatives that I used to be running on this team previously. So I will run this team fully on automatic, and that is primarily because I'm lazy with my Faction Wars running. Now, when I got my 3-star for this, I actually also ran this fully on auto, which is the success due to that is primarily due to Godseeker and her ability to have a passive res and an active res. So people have a strong chance of dying on this team, but they will get revived by Godseeker as per there. Now, even if Godseeker dies, then Cardinal also has a full AoE team res, which kind of keeps the team going. These double reses are clutch. Then, of course, we have Deacon, who runs a speed lead, turn meter boost, turn meter decrease, and a defense down for some survivability. Fenax on this particular team isn't providing any real value unless you're going on manual and you save his ability that provides a block debuff. Or it actually happened to run on its own accord, which is pretty convenient, but it stops some of the enemy abilities on this wave specifically, mostly Maneater's ability to put down a shield, and I don't know the guy's name in the middle, that he also puts a increased defense, which will slow down your run quite a bit. Otherwise, though, any defense is going to go in for Fenax pretty well. Or sorry, any damage champion, and you'll be in a good place for running this. Actually, having a stronger damage champion than I have would be ideal, which is why I brought in my Bivald, because he does okay damage relative to what I have available. We'll see we do make it through the waves fairly quickly, and with relative safety despite people dying. A lot of times I would recommend, and I still would even in this case, if you are struggling with when you get to the boss, stop autoing a little before right now, and so you're able to get your champion's active abilities off of cooldowns. You come into the boss fully kitted and ready to go to provide any kind of debuffs and buffs that your team can have. In this case, I'm going to show you this how I normally run it, which is without any of that additional safety measure. We'll see here that ally attack coming from the boss is very dangerous and can hurt your team. If your team is a little bit weaker, you're going to need to come in with some kind of buffs to prepare for that when it happens. Now, if we look at the boss abilities, they have a chance of placing fear on the entire team. This is a little bit annoying. Then we have revives all dead allies with full HP. This is going to keep those allies in the fight and also makes this boss take a lot longer than it otherwise would. Finally, the ally attack with the dead allies, or with the allies if they're not dead. They are dead, it blocks damage on the boss. Not really a big deal with the block damage, it kind of slows you down. In this case, Godseeker will potentially reduce the duration of that buff, but otherwise, the ads are just the damage. The ads are really the threat on this boss. Getting the chance to kill them early. Having Fenax actually has a chance of stopping them from being able to be rezzed, but his stop revive is so inconsistent because it requires a specific ability to kill them that it's just not as important to me and worrying about. I'm going to let this just go here on auto for a little while. I'm going to speed it up so you have a chance of just seeing how the fight plays out. And then when it's over, again, I'll go over all their stats and the couple of alternatives that I have at least available to show you on my account. All right, so that's the run. We'll see it is 3 stars here. We do get our rewards. Most of our damage is coming from Deacon, despite Fenax being the DPS in theory. Bivald is mostly just providing a little bit of extra support, shield, little heal, nothing too crazy. And now I'll go show you the stats of these champions and their gears and sets and so forth. So we have Godseeker in a reflex set. The goal of this is just to let her get through her abilities a little bit more faster, particularly this AoE heal and increase and decrease duration of buffs. Along with her revive has a small chance of coming back quicker. Mastery, she's only partially masteried out, nothing too crazy. And then we'll see her stats. We have her with a good amount of defense, decent damage here, and then accuracy to make sure she's getting all that buff strip action going on. Now, Cardinal is for Arena for me, so she's in Stone Skin set. That provides almost no value here. A ton of resist, but still not enough for Arena, although she does still provide huge value, at least where I'm at in arenas and beating speed teams that I otherwise could not beat. Decent HP, decent defense, and resist is all she is geared for. And the masteries, she is down to get even more resist. Deacon has recently been retuned. I got him a lot more speed because he was in a specific place on a clan boss. So he has okay attack, he has pretty solid speed, and then decent crit rate and damage, along with, again, over that 250 accuracy to land his debuffs. Masteries, we took him down through and got him War Master for what he was doing previously. And let's see, who else do we have to show? Fenax is in this lifesteal set for basically no reason. He is not fully kitted out, not fully enchanted. He'd obviously do more damage if he was, but I just don't really value his kit a lot in most areas. So we have okay attack, almost full crit rate, low crit damage really, and then enough accuracy to land his debuff, which comes here in the form of block buffs and block active skills. Now, most of the block buffs is what we're looking for here to prevent some of these adds from putting crazy buffs and slowing down the run. He also does have a chance here of stopping an enemy from being revived, but we'll see that doesn't come up super often because, too many abilities are killing enemies between the whole team. Masteries, he has none. And then Bivald over here, not even in full gear. I have him in this deflection set because I had a quest to put somebody in deflection set, so I put him in it and then threw on some HP gear. He could obviously be much better. He just provides a little bit of stability on the team, but he is not great for the team in the way I have him. He's a great champion for the team otherwise. Okay defense, okay HP. You'll see if this was up, it'd be a bit better. And no masteries on him yet. So this team mostly just relies on the reviving coming out of these two to get people dead and back up, and then a little bit of damage from this and some support here. So I'm actually going to go through this route to show my faction because I like the interface a little bit better. So Athel is a decent chance of providing some extra damage. I have swapped Athel in for Fenax, although at this point Fenax has a little bit more HP because he is an epic. So we tend to live longer, although I didn't have this new Ascension feature or Awakening feature yet, and I have not actually taken her out. She doesn't have anything put there for that. And then, of course, Armiger is actually a great option in here for your DPS, but he does okay damage. But mine is kitted out decently to make sure he has decent speed, accuracy, and defense, so we can go through and keep the enemy team from moving. I believe my original team that 3-starred this was like thus, but it had a lot of failure chance. Now, of course, the team that you saw me just run also has failure chance. The previous recording this video didn't fail, but it did result in my revivers dying right at the very end, and of course they couldn't come back up, so it was not a 3-star. So I want to show you this with the 3-star. It can do it. It will do it pretty consistently even on auto, but that's just the way to go. This team can do it. It will be much slower and might not work on auto, but yeah. So at my original recording of this, I actually went into my normal, so this has been an alternate image raid video, and started my closing out bit. And then I realized that I was just curious as to if this team swapping out a legendary and an epic for a rare and an uncommon would still go through efficiently, still go through on auto and everything. So I'm just going to try that out. This is kind of a bonus video, a little bonus portion of this. Some extra bit, of course, at the end. After I play through this whole thing, I'll show the stats of those couple of extra champions. So you can, see what they brought to the table here. They're decently geared. They're no slouches. However, it's still much more accessible, even though the team, of course, still is relying on a couple of relatively inaccessible champions. You'll see at least having your damage be nearly guaranteed options is actually still very viable. So just going to play through this real quick, show you the entire run, and then, give the stats and the ending spiel at the end of this. So you can skip forward there if you just want to hear that bit, or, watch and see kind of how this team plays out compared to the previous version. So we'll see here that this team still works, even if we swap out one of the epics and the legendary for a rare and an uncommon. Obviously, Athel is really good as a rare, and Armiger is really good as an uncommon, but I like to see that these kind of variants can actually still work. So I'm going to go show you the stats on these couple of champions, and then we'll get an idea of what they have going on to them as well. So remember, we switched out here Bivald and Fenax for Athel and Armiger. Now, Armiger here mostly was designed for accuracy, okay speed, and okay defense. I have not messed with this guy's tuning in a long time. Also, his crit rate is 100%. We'll notice his ability that matters really here, decrease turn meter by 30% if the attack is critical. So that's what he brings to any boss that he is fighting that has turn meter able to be returned. And again, we'll see we have the crit, but otherwise, his stats are just the crit, okay speed, and accuracy. That's really all that he has going on. This guy could be in better gear, but we'll see the gear he has on is decent for what he's doing. The resistance doesn't matter to him. The attack is meaningless. Honestly, this piece is terrible for this guy. We'll see that he was geared for me very early on, making progress on bosses in the beginning of this account. Athel also hasn't been really messed with in a long time. You see, I have not added her blessing, so while she is 3-star awoken, it doesn't actually matter yet. Check out her stats here. We are looking at a decent amount of attack, crit rate, crit damage. Her accuracy could be higher in attempts to land her weaken that she has a chance for, but I geared her out for attack. I was taking her as an arena champion for a little while early on, and she hasn't really been messed with since then. We'll notice that I have her in Helm Smasher as her masteries just to increase pure damage. I forgot to show this guy's masteries. We're just going War Master for the boss damage as per normal. So what do you guys think? Which team do you prefer? Also, is this bringing any kind of value to you to see two different options in the same video? Or did it make this video kind of long and bloated for you? Always leave that stuff in the comments. Like and sub if you like and feel like subbing, of course. And if you dislike this video, feel free to smash that dislike button, as it is still engagement for the channel. And as always, have a great day.